video for 2013. It's the end of May. It's already the 24th. I mean, the end of April, already the 24th. And this is our first video. We've been so busy with puppies, and we'll show you the puppies in a little bit. But I wanted to show you what is happening in the garden because a lot of really interesting things are going on. Now, I'm standing where we had wood chips last year. If you all will recall, we did a video where we had a huge pile of wood chips, and we were explaining to you how we were using these wood chips more and more in the gardens. And you know, it was really our first year of really intensively using it. But now we've got 2 years under our belts, and we are definitely believers in the wood chips in the garden. And come on up here and I'm going to show you a lot of the reasons why, how amazing it's ending up in many of our beds. You know, how weed-free, of course everything's weed-free this time of year, but we'll be showing you videos later to prove to you how weed-free things are going to be, how healthy the plants are, and really how pretty amazing they are already for this time of year. But I want to start by showing you the difference between the old, this was last year's wood chips, and this is fresh wood chips that just got delivered today. And you know, you hear that wood chips are easy to get a hold of. Just get a hold of a tree service and they'll bring you all the wood chips you could possibly want. Well, I tell you, we have found that it's been extremely difficult to get wood chips. We lucked out last year at the end of the summer. It was in August, and they were doing a lot of power line clearing around here. And we really did luck out, and we got, I don't know, 20 loads of wood chips out here, thank goodness. Because we have been on the phone, on Craigslist, begging for wood chips. Can't get them anywhere. Have people tell us they'll bring them, they never bring them. But we finally believe we've got somebody local, a little tree cutting service. They love what we're doing out here at the farm, and they're going to be our wood chip supplier, and we are really happy about that. So the old wood chips, they are really beneficial for your garden. The new ones, we're going to show you where we use the different types of wood chips. Come on this way and let us show you some of what's going on. Now here you see a trench, which is now becoming a border or a pathway in the garden. And this has all the new wood chips in it because we're not going to plant any plants in here right now. We may come back and do something in here later, but right now this is just a walkway. It also is going to become worm housing. On the bottom of these wood chips, we have about 6 layers of cardboard, 6 layers deep of cardboard. That will attract the worms to come in and live in these trenches as these wood chips decompose. Now over here in these walkways, these paths, we have put the old wood chips because we're planning on planting something very cool. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But the reason that we needed these decomposing wood chips is for that reason. And then what happens is we dig the trenches, they become walkways. They become worm housing. That soil comes up onto our beds, so we're actually making raised beds. And then we're having the wood chips decomposing in our walkways. And they'll stay there for 3 years. At the end of 3 years, they will come back out of the walkways and go back up on top of the raised beds. And we're just constantly building soil, creating very nutrient-dense soil for our beds. Now here are onions that were planted last fall, a couple of rows of them. Here's our garlic. We planted this at Thanksgiving last year, and they have done really well in the wood chips. Now I was going to tell you all about what I'm getting ready to plant out here next week. Now that the wood chips have decomposed in these walkways, I'm getting ready to put my mushroom spores in. So we will be planting mushrooms. I'm going to start with portobello and shiitake. And we will have mushroom beds in our walkways. And that's fine because these walkways are this deep. And they take all of the weight and they distribute it so that nothing gets damaged. And we will hopefully be able to harvest mushrooms for 3 years once I put the spores in these beds. Now this is our first year doing that. But I just know that it's going to work. There's just no way that it can't work after the research I've done, and I've actually seen videos and read where people have been very successful growing these mushrooms in their gardens. But come on over here and let's look at the main garden. really looking great. I mean, I'm just like blown away. I'm amazed. This is the best that my garden has ever looked in April. I mean, it's just amazing. Look at the collards and the red lettuce, the red romaine, the kale. Just absolutely beautiful. And you know, it's just like if you dig down in these wood chips, it's totally moist there. Now spring is usually moist anyway, but it's just, this is going to retain the moisture. And these little paths, these walkways, I call them worm housing. They're now going to be mushroom beds. They are very deep, and so they are going to hold the water. They hold a lot of water, and then it gets released over into those beds as it is needed. Look at this red kale. Oh boy, I'm going to enjoy that. We've got rows of radishes, and here is the carrots. We're waiting for the carrots to come up before we put a lot of wood chips on those carrots. And as you know, we're always doing some experiment out here. We were donated some chain link fencing, and we thought, well, let's put that up and see how the peas grow on that this year. So we'll report back to you and let you know how that works. But the most important thing is we wanted to say that we are absolutely believers in the wood chip method. We've taken all that black tarps and black plastic, all that's off this garden now, and this is the way that we plan on doing our gardens going forward. And it can't be anything but beneficial. It's just constantly building soil, attracting worms, contributing to a healthy underground ecosystem, and pulling nutrients in. You know, once you plant those mushrooms and the mycelium webs go out there, that's pulling nutrients into your plants. The worms are going in and aerating and fertilizing your raised beds. I mean, talk about working in harmony with nature. This is the ultimate working in harmony with nature in this garden, I feel. And I think that you all should try it because it's not difficult at all. It's actually becoming the easiest garden method that we've ever experienced. So that said, for those of you who have never seen the film, Back to Eden, the film, where I guess you could say the pioneer, the originator of this method, tells you all about it. He's amazing. But we're finding there aren't really too many people here in this area, in the whole Baltimore, Washington area, that are really doing this, utilizing this method. So we are out there on the website. We are listed as a teaching farm for the Back to Eden gardening. We encourage you all to come out here and see firsthand how we're doing this. We'll be happy to show you and teach you, and spread the word, spread the knowledge about this method of gardening.